Hey Snapchat, it's day 4 of my series on negotiations. Day 1 was about preparation. Know what you care about in the negotiation and prepare for what you believe the other side wants. Day 2 was about anchoring. Make sure the other side understands the range of negotiation that's possible. Day 3 was about how to conduct a negotiation. Make sure you don't negotiate piecemeal, negotiate the entire package against the entire package. Today, I'm going to focus on a concept called Batna. Batna stands for Best Alternative to a Negotiated Agreement. Before I get to Batna, I want to talk about negotiating style, how to create win-win negotiations. Negotiations are hard. Negotiations get emotions up. Negotiations create conflict because I want something different than what you want. A win-win mentality is trying to depersonalize the negotiation and trying not to make it adversarial and certainly not emotional. The best way to avoid making things emotional is preparation. Negotiations require a tremendous amount of preparation. By starting with what you really want and need and what the other side really wants and needs, it helps you create a better win-win framework. Whenever conflicts arise in a negotiation, if you can keep bringing the other side back to these are the 3 things you told me were important and how I'm addressing them. Reminding people of the compromises that you're prepared to take and reminding people that your objective is that both sides should get a win. Remind people that the basis of a negotiation is neither side gets exactly what they want, but both sides can live with the compromises made. In really important negotiations, I often find myself doing pages and pages of written analysis of what I believe is important. Sometimes I even draft out letters and probably never show anybody the letters that I've drafted. The letters help me articulate where I believe we are in the negotiation and where I believe the other side should make changes. I do spreadsheets where I try to calculate economic value of each component of a negotiation. The point I'm making to you is that if it's a really important negotiation, there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into it that probably actually doesn't get used. The amount of preparation obviously is commensurate with the importance of this individual negotiation or the complexity or lack of complexity. So now to Batna, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. In every negotiation, you have to ask yourself, what's going to happen if we don't reach an agreement? It forces you to think through the things that you're willing to give up and the things you're not willing to give up, and also think about that from the other perspective. Having a Batna in your own mind tells you what you're going to do if you can't reach agreement. This is important first and foremost to clarify your own thoughts about what your red lines are and what actions you're going to take if you don't get a negotiation. But it's also a really important tool to share the fact that there is a Batna with the other side as part of the negotiation. You might say something in a negotiation like, look, I really want to reach an agreement, but if I can't reach an agreement with you, this is what I'll likely be forced to do. It's not ideal, it's not what I want, but I do have choices and alternatives. Batnas can even be used in lightweight negotiations like a sale where you're negotiating a package. I'll explain. If you have limited resources in your company and a buyer feels they have all the leverage, how do you change that dynamic? The way you change it is by saying, look, we have a lot of demand for our product. I really want you to be an important client for us. But if you can't see yourself making a commitment this quarter, and I certainly hope you will, but if you can't, I'm going to have to put those resources on other opportunities. That's an implicit Batna, because what I'm saying is I want to reach agreement. If I don't, I have choice. And that choice is to allocate my resources into other. So as a summary, a Batna, a best alternative to a negotiated agreement, needs to be used in 2 ways. Number 1 is to clarify your thinking and get your whole team focused around what your red lines are. And number 2, as an important and productive way to move the other side towards a negotiated settlement. When people know that there's a possibility you can walk away or do other things, it does clarify their mind in a negotiation. I highly recommend trying to keep this constrained to a win-win negotiation rather than using a Batna to create an adversarial relationship. And don't negotiate free form. Do the work, put your thoughts in writing, do the spreadsheet, be prepared. You'll have better negotiations.